Hey everyone, welcome to Yard Analytics. I am Anshuman and I welcome you back again. So in this video, we are going to understand the data in Tableau. So shall we move ahead? Yes, let's get going. So here is the Tableau public book homepage. Now what we are going to do at first is that let's connect to the Excel file, right? So we'll connect to the sample superstore dataset. Once we do that, what we will be doing is that we will drag the order sheet. Let's say as of now, let's take a particular sheet, the order sheet, and let's drag it. All right. So this is what we can see over here. We have different columns, and for each column, if you see on top, for each column, if you see on top, there is a particular symbol, right? If you see this particular symbol, if you see this particular symbol, there is a particular symbol, right? So each of this symbol denotes a data type. Okay, each of the symbol denotes a data type. Data type of what? Of that particular column. Data type of that particular column. All right. Okay. Now, let us understand what are the different kinds of data types in Tableau. Okay, fine. So if we talk about Tableau, there are 6 data types. All right. There are 6 different data types in Tableau. Number 1, what you see over here, this particular symbol, the hashtag symbol, right? This denotes a numerical data. All right. Now this numerical data can be in the form of decimal or it can be in the form of whole number. All right. This is the first one. What is the second one? The second one is in the form of ABC. Can you see this symbol? The symbol is in the form of ABC. That's nothing but it denotes string data, text data, right? The third one, if you can see over here, the order date column, it has a calendar shaped icon, right? Like this, calendar shaped icon. This is nothing but it denotes date. It denotes date data. All right. Okay. Now, all of this are just the same as the previous ones. But if you come over here for the country column, you can see this icon. It's like a globe, right? It's like a globe. So this icon denotes a geographic data. And the data can have different levels of granularity or different levels of depth. For example, since this is a country related geographic data, it can be on the basis of a country geographic data. Let's say if it is more specific, let's say if it is a state data or a city data, then it can go into deeper levels of granularity, and Tableau helps you with that. All right. Fine. Now, what is the fifth data? The fifth data type can be of the form true/false. And it is nothing but Boolean data type. It is a Boolean data type, right? All right. Good to go? Yes. The final data type is nothing but it's an extension of the third data type, the date data type. It's date time. So how does a date time data look like? For example, let me give you an example. Let's say if the data looks like, let's say 2022 11/14, that is 14th November, today's date, 8 hours 30 minutes 0 seconds. So this is like a combination of date as well as time. So this is an example of date time format data. the date time format based data. All right, fine. So these are the 6 data types. Now you might ask, how will I remember all of this, right? So Tableau provides you an easy way to remember it. How? Let's see. So if you click on any of these icons, so if you click on the icon, you can see here the data types. See, you can see here there is number in the form of decimal or whole. There is date and time. There is date data type, string, boolean. Okay, so number data type or numerical data type can be, both of these can be considered as one particular data type. That can be for decimal as well as for whole, right? Then we have date time, date, string, boolean. We also have geographic. I'll show you. If you click over here on this globe, you can see the geographic data type, right? Or also named as geographic role. And as I was saying you, the different levels of granularity or the levels of depth, you can see over here, we have for this, since the column is referring to countries, we have country/region as the geographic role for this particular column. We can also have city, we can have county, airport, area, and different levels of depth for geographic role data. All right. So I hope this is clear. Fine. Shall we move ahead? Yes. Let's get going. Okay, everyone. So the next concept that we are going to talk about is a data field. Okay. We know this is the view pane, right? So I'm just scribbling down the concepts. So a data field, right? So now what's a data field? Every particular attribute or column that you see here on the left hand side, each of this is a data field. All right. So each column is a data field. I hope that's clear. Yes. So each column is a data field. All right. Now, next concept. Let's understand the next concept. First of all, we'll understand the data in Tableau. Apart from the data types that we have, data in Tableau, if we try to classify overall, can be in 2 types. First is a dimension and the second is a measure. All right. The first is a dimension and the second is a measure. Now, what's a dimension and what's a measure? Fine. So dimension includes all your categorical data. All your categorical data. Nothing but your qualitative data, right? Also known as your qualitative data. Now, what are the examples of categorical data? For example, if you have, let's say you have a person, okay, and you want to know his income status. Okay. So if his income status is of the form, let's say high, medium, and low, all right. So that is a type of a categorical data. You have groups, you have categories in which you can club the data. So this type of data is referred to as categorical data. Another example, let's say gender of a person. It can be male, it can be female, right? So these are the examples. These are some examples of categorical data. If you want to look into it, you can obviously search it on the internet to know the different types of categorical data. These are certain examples. Now, talking about measure. Measure is nothing but a numerical data. Okay. Now this numerical data can be of two types. One is discrete and the other one is continuous. All right. One is discrete and the other one is continuous. Fine. Now, what can be an example of discrete data? What can be an example of discrete data? For example, let's say if you have day of the week, okay, day of the week, all right, and this day of the week is, let's say, it's converted into a number format. Like instead of Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you have stuffs like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So here 1 denotes Monday, 2 denotes Tuesday, all right, and till 7 it denotes Sunday. Let's say you have data like this. Okay. So you can see over here that there is a finite number of values that exist over here, right? Discrete data, finite number of values that exist over here. You have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3, you have a 4, you have a 5, you have a 6, you have a 7. There's a finite number of values that exist. So this kind of numerical data is referred to as discrete data. Okay. Now what's a continuous data, right? So let me clear this section. Yeah. So what's a continuous data? What's continuous? So let's say, for example, if we want to know the temperature of a city, all right, what is the temperature, right? We ask such questions like, what's the temperature of Delhi? What's the temperature of Mumbai? So if you notice, in those cases, we can never be exactly specific. All right, the temperature is 34 degrees Celsius. Fine. It can be 34.5. It can be 34.55550000001, right? We cannot speak of exactness over here, right? So in continuous data, let's say if I specify my temperature, let's say, okay, fine, the temperature is between 33 degrees Celsius to 34 degrees Celsius. Within this particular range, there is an infinite number of values that can exist, right? So such type of data where you don't have any exactness, but you cannot be exactly specific, and it's like a continuous flow of values, let's say within a particular range, those type of data are continuous in nature. Is that clear? All right. So one example is temperature of a city. The other can be, let's say, pressure, atmospheric pressure, something like that. Level of oxygen, right? Okay, these are big examples. Let's say if I want to talk about some other continuous types of data, let's say height of students, right? So these are certain examples of continuous data. All right, I hope that's clear. So now, coming back, so as we said, data in Tableau, all right, data in Tableau can be classified into a dimension and it can be classified into a measure. So dimensions are nothing but your categorical values, and measures are nothing but your numerical values. Okay. So categorical values also, if you observe, there is a finite number of values, right? So in that way, we can say that categorical values are as discrete as well by nature. But later on, I'll show you an example where you can convert a categorical value to a continuous nature as well. Okay. So as of now, let's not confuse us with that concept. But as of now, let's understand this. Okay. And numerical data can be discrete and it can be continuous. That's what we discussed. Fine. Okay. All right. Good to go. Okay. So now the next question that can arise is, okay, fine. We have understood what's a dimension and what's a measure. But when I open a particular Tableau worksheet, how will I get to know which is a dimension and which is a measure? Okay. So let's say even if you don't know how the data looks like for each of these columns, a very easy way is there through which you can identify a dimension and a measure, and Tableau helps us with that. So what is that? So first of all, if you see, there is a line, there is a particular line, right? If you can see over here, there is a particular line that separates certain columns above and certain columns below. I'm talking about this particular line, right? So the columns above are automatically categorized as a dimension. Okay, so each of this is a dimension. Okay, and you can see the icon or the symbol over here is blue in color, right? It's blue in color. So in Tableau, a dimension is denoted by the blue color. Okay, you know, if you want to make a notation of the dimension in Tableau, the symbol or the icon appears in the form of blue color, or a dimension is always denoted using the blue color. Fine. Okay. Now let's talk about measures. So the columns below this line are all measures. Okay. So if you see over here, the icons are green in color, and most of them are generally numerical in nature. Okay. There can be other data types as well, but here you can see, right? So in Tableau, again, if you want to denote a measure, the green color is used to denote a measure. All right, that's clear. And Tableau by default segregates your columns into dimensions and measures. If you want, you can create new fields in measures. If you want, you can create new fields above here as well, or you can drag few of those fields below as well. You're free to do all of this, and we'll see how to do that later on. But as of now, let's understand how dimension and measure looks like in Tableau, right? That's our main motto. Fine. So we are good till here? Yes. Let's move ahead. So we have understood how is a dimension and how is a measure. Okay. Now what we can do, so let's say if here we have our columns and rows section. If I take a particular attribute, let's say from the dimension category, and put it over here, and let's say if I take profit and I put it over here in the columns category. Okay, let's interchange it. We can interchange, okay, let me tell you a shortcut. We can interchange the, if I want to shift this particular dimension to columns, and if I want to shift this particular measure to rows, we can use a shortcut, which is nothing but Control plus W. All right. So let's see if I press Control plus W. All right. Yes, we have shifted it. Okay, fine. We can also do that using this particular icon in the toolbar, swap rows and columns, right? We can click that and yeah. Okay, fine. So yeah. So now if you see over here, there is like a pill shaped, there is a pill shape around each of this attribute, like a pill shape has been formed, right? So if the pill shape is blue in color, this denotes what? A dimension. All right. And if the pill shape is green in color, it denotes a measure. That's all. Isn't it easy to identify a dimension and a measure in Tableau? Yes, it is. Fine. So that's all for this video. Fine. And I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care and Happy learning.